You disappear when things get real. Not because you don't care, not because you're cold, not because you lack feelings, but because closeness can feel like standing too near a fire. Warmth is there, and so is danger. Some people chase connection. You may crave it quietly, then step back the second it gets close. And if that pattern feels painfully familiar, this may explain more than you think. Picture this. Someone texts you with genuine interest. Your chest tightens instead of relaxing. You overthink the reply. You wait too long. Then you convince yourself they probably don't care anyway. Or maybe you're invited somewhere and want to go, but the thought of being seen, judged, needed, or emotionally exposed drains you before you even leave the house. So you cancel, then feel lonely later. That loop can feel confusing. You want connection, yet distance feels safer. Here's what's really happening. What many people call avoidance is often a protective system. A mind that learned distance can feel safer than dependence. A nervous system that associates vulnerability with risk. So let's decode 5 signs people often miss. Because you're not broken. You may be protecting yourself in ways that once made sense. Number 1. You want relationships, but resist emotional closeness. This is one of the clearest signs. You may like people in theory, admire intimacy from afar, even deeply want love. But when someone gets emotionally near, something inside pulls the emergency brake. Most people think this means you don't care, but actually, caring may be exactly what triggers the fear. Closeness can feel like handing someone the map to your inner world. And if trust once felt unsafe, distance becomes armor. You're not heartless, you're guarded, and that armor usually hides something deeper. Number 2. You appear independent to the point of isolation. You tell yourself you don't need anyone. You handle everything alone. You rarely ask for help, even when struggling. From the outside, it can look strong. Inside, it can feel exhausting. Picture carrying every grocery bag in one trip, hands shaking, refusing help while pretending it's fine. That's how emotional self-reliance can feel. Sometimes the nervous system learns that depending on others equals disappointment, criticism, or loss of control. So independence becomes a survival brand. You're not low maintenance, you're over-adaptive. But here's the part people miss. Hyper-independence often hides a hunger to finally rest. Number 3. You overanalyze social interactions and expect rejection. You replay conversations at night. You study someone's tone. You notice tiny pauses in texts. You assume one awkward moment changed everything. This can come from threat detection running in the background. The brain starts scanning for signs of embarrassment, criticism, or abandonment before they even happen. It's like having a smoke alarm so sensitive it reacts to toast. Nothing obvious happened, but your body still sounds the siren. You're not dramatic, you're vigilant. And when vigilance runs the room, spontaneity quietly leaves through the back door. Number 4. You suppress needs until they come out sideways. You say, "I'm fine," when you're not. You downplay hurt. You avoid asking for reassurance. Then, resentment builds in silence. Needs don't disappear when ignored. They go underground. Like steam trapped in a sealed kettle, pressure rises where no one can see it. Then suddenly you withdraw, shut down, or become distant without knowing how to explain why. Many avoidant patterns aren't the absence of need. They're the fear of expressing need. You're not needy. You're unpracticed at being received. And that changes everything once you realize it. Number 5. You mistake peace for numbness and chaos for chemistry. Calm attention may feel boring. Safe people may feel suspicious. But emotionally unavailable people can feel strangely magnetic. Why? Because the nervous system often confuses familiar pain with attraction. If unpredictability feels normal, steadiness can feel empty at first. It's like switching from loud static to silence. Silence can feel uncomfortable before it feels peaceful. You're not cursed in love, you're conditioned by patterns. And once patterns are visible, they stop controlling you as easily. Here's the beautiful contradiction. You may look distant while feeling deeply. You may seem detached while longing intensely. You may protect your heart so fiercely because your heart is anything but small. Some of the most avoidant people are not empty. They are full of feeling, full of caution, full of memories that taught them closeness has a cost. That's why they can seem tough and tender at the same time. Closed door, bright house. But this trait can become self-sabotage when protection never powers down. When every invitation feels like pressure. When every caring person gets held at arm's length. When solitude stops being peace and becomes a prison. The gentle reframe is this: you don't have to become someone else overnight. You don't need to force vulnerability like a performance. Sometimes growth looks smaller than people think. Replying honestly, asking for help once, staying present during discomfort instead of disappearing. Tiny acts of safety teach the system what logic alone cannot. You were never too much distance or too little love. You were someone trying to stay safe with the tools you had. And tools can change. Patterns can soften. Doors can open slowly and still open. Sometimes the strongest person in the room is not the one who needs no one, but the one who finally lets themselves be known. So tell me in the comments, team hyper-independent or team secretly craving closeness? And if this hit home, the next thing you need to understand is why avoidant people pull away right when they care the most.